Hello everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys know, I have a lot of unread books on my shelves. So I was like, what is a kind of a fun way that I could start reading and really get a big chunk of books off my shelf, like 5 books off my shelves, and just keep reading the ones that I actually own. An idea came to my mind that was literally just like, my friends pick my TBR. And so I'm giving all of the agency up to my friends. I have pulled a ton of books off my shelves that I have not read. I've put them in categories that I'm going to send pictures of to my friends. And they're gonna pick, I think, 5 or 6 books that I'm going to thus vlog my experience reading. That's what this video is. It's gonna be probably a little bit of a longer vlog, so gird your loins, get ready. All right, friends, it is now a few hours later. We have sent in the pictures to my friends, and there was a whole, just a smorgasbord, I will put it up here, scrolling through of me showing them all the books that I had done. There were 6 categories. There was like middle grade YA fantasy, sci-fi, adult fantasy, regular YA, and then like regular adult or whatever. And they picked from that. Each of them kind of picked their own picks. There was a lot of waffling. And then I made another pile with just those books, and we have officially narrowed it down to 6. I also realized that you guys were really up high on my shelves, but yes, okay, so we got 6. So what I'm going to be reading in this video, once April finally rolls around, I will be reading Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel, which is a sci-fi told in interview form, which I'm very excited to dive into. I'm also going to be reading Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This one, I believe it's a historical literary novel. I really don't know much about it. And then I will also be reading Here There Be Dragons, which is the YA fantasy that was picked. This is by James A. Owen, and it is a historical fantasy set around the First World War, and there's dragons. And my friend is very excited that I'm reading that finally. And then I'm also reading The Song of Achilles, which I knew if I was gonna include it on this list that it would be picked, because it's my friend's like one of her favorite books ever. And I was like, if I include this, she's gonna vote for it. 2 of my friends actually voted for it, so definitely reading The Song of Achilles. And then I have The History of Love by Nicole Krauss, which my friend actually gave me for Christmas, and she voted it onto the list, and then I got into the final list. So then I'm also gonna be reading The Red Pyramid, which is the first book in the Kane Chronicles, because 2 of them voted for it right away, which I find really fun, and I'm very excited to start reading the Kane Chronicles. So those are the books I'm going to be reading for this video that my friends chose my TBR, and I'm very excited to read all of them. And I'm happy that there's a good variety of like genre choices, because I did say, I was like, you guys can make me read all literary fiction or all fantasy. Like, I don't, like, you don't have to pick one from each category, right? So I'm glad that this is how it went. I'm happy with it, and I'm excited to dive into all of these. Without further ado, let's just start this video. Hello friends, happy April 1st! It is officially the start of another month, and officially like the beginnings of this vlog, since it is April 1st. I am very excited to get this going. So I am coming here and I'm going to, I think I'm gonna leave it up to my friends as to which book I read first, and I'll get back to you. Hello friends. It is now the end of the day. I'm popping in to kind of update you on which book I'm gonna read first. So my friends voted for either Sleeping Giants or Here There Be Dragons. I'm gonna roll for it. This is a D6. So if I roll an odd number, it'll be Sleeping Giants. If it's an even number, it'll be Here There Be Dragons. And it ends up being an even number. So that means we're reading first Here There Be Dragons, because even number, we're reading this one first. And then I feel like I should read this one second because it was the first 2 that they voted for. So Here There Be Dragons will be the first one that I pick up. Probably not tonight because it is April 1st. Camp NaNoWriMo is a thing. Also, it's Thursday, so Critical Role is a thing. So probably tomorrow, first one, Here There Be Dragons. Hello, my friends. It has been a hot second since I last talked to you, but hi. I'm back with a little reading update because I have officially just started Here There Be Dragons, but I am only 28 pages in. So far, we got 3 characters. 2 of whom I don't know the difference from because they are named Jack and John. Authors, you gotta pick names that are different enough so you can tell the difference between the 2, because I've officially confused them so much that I don't know who's who, so I'm considering them one person. Maybe that'll change as the book goes on. Maybe it doesn't matter. We'll find out. But so far we've had a murder. We've had a funny little man show up to be like, you need to do this kind of a thing, like give them a quest. And they're being chased by these creatures, which is fun. I did underline some quotes that I thought were pretty fun. One of them from page 20 says, "The little man blinked and arched an eyebrow. 'It is the world, my boy,' he said, 'all world in ink and blood, vellum and parchment, leather and hide. It is the world and it is yours to save or lose.'" Talking about the Geographica, and that's a fun little quote. It's fun, and there's actually occasionally drawings included, which is really fun. So I decided to do this update because I was coming downstairs to grab this book officially and actually spend some time reading it because it is Friday. My brain is fried from work today, so I'm gonna read and I'm happy about it. Let's go do that. All right, guys. Oh, jeez. So I am now on the page 82 mark of Here There Be Dragons, and I can now tell John and Jack apart. Jack is an asshole, John is the main character. We are on a ship, it's going really good, but I really wanted to pop in because we got to a point where I had like a full body chill because I remembered, like, there was a line in the book and I was like, oh, this is an Arthurian retelling. I got so excited because it's a King Arthur of Avalon type of situation where, like, basically in this world there's like a pocket dimension. Oh, what's it called? And it's like the map of this is the archipelago. There's a full saying for it, but it is the, like, yeah, the archipelago of dreams is like the whole place. And this Imaginarium Geographica, this book that they have, and the book that John is tasked with, like, taking care of, is supposed to, like, be a map for them to explore this imaginary geography that the Imaginarium Geographica, you know, it's a thing. And it's like this, like, world that's almost in an alternate dimension. It's really cool because right at the beginning, the boat sails that they're on, it's called the Indigo Dragon, and they, like, literally as soon as they leave, then it's like they're no longer in London, they're no longer in the same ocean, they are currently sailing in the archipelago, and I'm like, this is so fun. So I'm intrigued. It's also like, I thought this was gonna be really like young YA, but as so far we're dealing with like university age people, and John, our main character, is married. Like, it's older characters, which is fun, but I think it's supposed to read a little bit more YA. I'm not sure, but I'm enjoying it and I will keep reading it and I will keep you updated. Hello, my lovely friends. I just finished Here There Be Dragons. And if you read it, you know, but like, oh my god, this book was so smart. It did so much and in such a fantastic way. Oh my gosh. Wow. I will not spoil you because it is too good. It is too good, honest to God. But I will say, really liked it. I hated Jack for the most of it, one of our characters. Loved John, our main character. Absolutely loved and adored Tumblr. He is this little badger man who, like, shows up every once in a while, and he is the Sam Gamgee of this book. He is so sweet. And I love him so much. Oh, and like throughout this story we have references to all of the like myths and legends in our world that we know, and like the Greek myths come in super hard, and the like King Arthur myth is just like at the center of this. Like, it does so much with all these myths and stories that we know that are just common knowledge, like the Loch Ness Monster. I don't even think I caught all of the real world tie-ins that like, or real world, like the literature and the stories and myths that we know in this real world into this. I don't think I caught them all. That's how jam-packed this is, and it was really, really good. And honestly, such a fast read. The writing is big enough that I just kept going and kept going and kept going, and I read this in like 3 hours. So that's where I'm at. And this is now done. I have not yet put it through my cop-out system. I'm gonna leave that probably for the morning to do, but I'm feeling it's gonna be either a 3.5, 4, maybe even 4.5 star. I gotta think about it because it's so smart. I gotta let it stew. Dragon in this you get introduced to near the beginning. His name is Samaranth, I believe. He's awesome. He's super sassy, and I love me a good talking dragon, to be honest with you guys. Anyways, next up, I think I'm going to probably be listening to Sleeping Giants next, because that was the two votes that my friends gave me. It was Here There Be Dragons and then Sleeping Giants. and then I rolled a dice for them. So I think I'm gonna do that because that one also has an audiobook. And I just got my Audible credit in, so I think I'm gonna also get the audiobook for Crawdads because I don't know how well that one's gonna go over just reading it. I feel like it's gonna take me a while, so I think that'll be my best bet for audiobook listening. Oh, this was a great place to start. Definitely a great place to start with this one. I will catch up with you guys when I have a chunk done of the Sleeping Giants. Hello, my lovely friends. I am popping in after the fact because as I was editing this video, I realized I never filmed anything for Sleeping Giants. Love that for me. This one went, from what I remember, because it's been like weeks, this one went okay. I listened to the entire audiobook in one sitting at my desk and I found it entertaining and fun, I guess, but I do think that the whole interview style really didn't do this story justice. I think it would have been so much better if it had been done with multiple points of views from all the characters instead of one man kind of orchestrating all the interviews, because in the end, like in the climactic scene, he just wrote, like, Sylvain Nouvelle wrote himself into a corner and had to have it in this, like, this guy had like an earpiece and he was like working undercover. Like, it was not believable at the end for sure. And the interview format really did not do the characters justice. Like, they became a little bit more caricature-y than anything. So yeah, it was enjoyable to listen to because I listened to it so fast. I did it all in one sitting and I enjoyed it for sure. But I think I only gave it 2.5 stars because it wasn't anything. And I don't think I'll be continuing that series either because the format I think is what gets me. It sounds really cool and it's a really cool concept, but by the end, too much suspension of disbelief wouldn't have really worked, you know? So yeah, just never vlogged my thoughts about Sleeping Giants because I read it right around the time where I was very stressed and had a lot of anxiety in my body from, like, I had a date and then, like, I just had a really bad mental health time, and so I guess, like, I read it right before History of Love. So the next one that I finished reading was History of Love, and I do have footage for that, so let's just roll into that. Hi guys! It is now a few days later. I think it's April 16th? Friday. That's all I really know. I am losing my voice because I just had a date and talked for 2 hours. So today though, I did a lot of reading because I needed to distract myself from the insane anxiety. And I started The History of Love by Nicole Krauss. And I am officially on page 150, so I am over the halfway mark. And I've been listening to the audiobook. And as so far, I don't understand what the point of the story is. Like, I feel so attached to all these characters that we're introduced to. And it says on the back that Nicole Krauss gradually draws these stories together towards a climax of extraordinary depth and beauty. So I think they're all tied together somehow, but I'm sitting here trying to figure out how they're tied together, right? So it's one of those stories that just, like, explores the characters of these people. So we have Leopold, who is our starting person, and it's like his point of view is so very visceral and raw because he just, like, it's a journal, stream of consciousness almost, kind of a point of view. And he has a son that his son, like, doesn't know that he's his father or whatever, because it was he had his son with this woman who got married to another guy before because she thought the other guy was dead. Whole thing. So he has a son and he's like, this guy is, like, well into his 60s, 70s, 80s. Like, he's pretty far into life because he keeps talking about the fact that he's gonna die soon. And his son has a role in this, but not really. Like, you don't ever get to see him, but he, like, this guy Leopold has written a story that he mails off to his son, and it's this book. And then we have another point of view that is a young girl named Alma, who's been named Alma after a character in this book. But the author of this book is, like, Ziv. His name is Ziv, I think, or the title of the author of the book is, like, Ziv something. And so I was like, okay, so it's a different book. But I think they're the same book, but they're not titled the same thing, which is so interesting. And I don't know how we're gonna get back to the two. And it's not just those two. We have a nameless narrator who narrates this piece of a story about the author, who is also living a completely different life than Leopold, which is making me think that there's two books in this story. I'm very confused, but I'm also liking it. And it is very soft and slow. And we're just getting to know the characters. So I think I'm gonna see if I can read more of it tonight, possibly finish it tonight. That's where I'm at, and I will let you know how I feel about this when I finish it. Good morning, friends. Happy Saturday, April 17th, I guess. Hi, I'm here. And I wanted to do a little kind of wrap up for The History of Love, which I finished last night. It was so lovely. It's just basically a look at humanity. It really, like, at the end, I kind of did a little bit of thinking about it. There's no real big point to this story. It's not like the author gives us a promise at the beginning and like it's fulfilled by the end. It's just this beautiful telling of this story of an old man, of a little girl who's about 14, of a fake author, and then all the people that intertwine in their lives and matter to this story, the history of love, this book. And by the end, everything kind of wraps up in an interesting way. Not really a nice, neat way. Like, again, there's no point to the story. It's not like somebody's searching out answers for a particular reason. This little girl who is searching for Alma Marninsky, the lady who's mentioned in the history of love, who she's been named after, she doesn't really even know why she's searching either. Like, she doesn't really, it's not like she gains anything from this other than knowledge. So it's just a slice of these people's lives and what the story means to them and what the real story is and all that kind of stuff. It is beautiful. And if you guys are looking for a soft, really raw look at humanity in places. I didn't really love Alma, the 14-year-old's, her point of view a whole lot because, I don't know, it was kind of annoying because it was all in list form, but I was more interested in her than her little brother who comes up later who thinks he's like this big religious figure. He was the worst. I did not like his point of view at all, but I really loved Leo's point of view. And I didn't realize I was going to love it so much because at the beginning I was like, what is this old man? What is this old man doing? It's very human, I guess, is the best way to say that. So it was lovely. It was lovely, and I have yet to put it through Compile, but I have a feeling it'll be like a 3.5, 4-star around there. We'll find out because the characters are beautiful and the writing is incredible. But to this morning, I am going to be starting The Song of Achilles because last night on Script, I found the audiobook for this. So the only book that doesn't have an audiobook now is The Red Pyramid, which is fine. So far, 3 books down, 3 books to go. I'm enjoying myself immensely. The books that my friends have picked out were books that I would have read them eventually, but they weren't like super high priority on my list. So it was kind of fun to do this and to see which ones that they wanted me to read. I'm gonna go start The Song of Achilles. Hello, friends. Happy Monday. It is April 19th today, and I wanted to pop in because I have an update on Song of Achilles. I keep saying Son of Achilles. No, Song of Achilles. I am officially 255 pages in, and I wanted to do an update of like my original thoughts a lot earlier, but I just kept forgetting and kept reading more. So, Song of Achilles. I love this book. So my history with Madeline Miller is a little weird. So I've read Circe and one of her short pieces because it was like 20 pages or something. It was like a really, really short story about, it was another Greek myth and I can't remember which one it is. But I had such high expectations going into Circe because everybody and their mother loves Circe, and my friend who picked this book, and this is her favorite book, she loves Circe as well, and she got me to read it a lot. I think it was last year. No, it was the year before. It was 2019. And I came out of that one very lackluster. I was just like, it was just not what I expected it to be. I didn't love it. It wasn't fantastic. I think I gave it like 3 stars. So I was wary about going into Song of Achilles, especially with the hype that it's receiving right now on like TikTok, and like it's going through a like renaissance of sorts. I was wary because as I said, it's my friend's favorite book of all time, and I really wanted to love it. But I went in with lower expectations because of my experience with Circe, and I am loving this. I think it just hit me last night when I finished up to this point how much I was loving it, because I read another 100 pages last night. At the point that I was at when I stopped originally, I was on page 150. And by then I was kind of like, all right, so Achilles is kind of an asshole. Which is standard because he's a Greek hero. And Greek heroes are always assholes. They don't, like in stories, they're just not, they're just, heroes of any kind are kind of the worst, right? So Achilles was driving me a little bit crazy. And then Patroclus was also driving me a little bit crazy because he's so inactive as a character, and he still is. I think right about now though, he's starting to gain a little bit of teeth, which is really nice. I wish he would have gained more teeth earlier in the narrative, but right now I've reached a point where I'm just like, this is so beautiful. So I know the myth of Achilles and Patroclus. I keep saying it wrong, Patroclus. I know it. I studied Greek mythology in university, and like the myth of Achilles is one that I know very well. But here's the thing. I know it ends in tragedy. I can't remember what happens in this myth as to which one of these boys dies. I can't remember which one, and I might be conflating this myth with another one, but we're gonna find out. So like, I know this ends in tragedy. I'm very well prepared for that, and we'll see if I end up being a mess like everybody else is, because we know, if you've been on my channel for long enough, I'm a very emotional person and I cry at like literally the drop of a hat. But it depends on if the writer has done it well enough, has set up the emotion well enough, is describing it well enough, if that triggers it in me. So we're gonna see how I feel by the end of this. I'm ready to sob, but also because I'm prepared for the trauma, and I think a lot of people who, if they don't know the myth of Achilles, go into this and it is a full shock, which it really even shouldn't be, because A, he's a Greek hero. Greek heroes are never happy. They never have happy endings. And like in this, we have the prophecy that Achilles is gonna die well into the first half of the book. And I'm just like, this shouldn't be a shock to you guys that something bad happens at the end, but we're gonna see how this goes. As so far, I am loving it. It is just, yeah, last night I was sitting there and I was just like thinking about it, and I was like, there's just something so beautiful about this book. And it is a slow burning beautiful. This is a slow burning beautiful book. I have about just over 100 pages left, I believe, 130-ish pages, something like that, and we will see how it goes when I finish it.
Several days later.
Well, I'm done the Song of Achilles. And it got me right here. It got me because I forgot that part of the myth. Damn it. Hey friends, so I've calmed down enough now. It's been like an hour and a half since I finished the Song of Achilles, but I can tell you, this was just exceptional. Exceptional. I thought I remembered the myth, as I said, and I was like, I'm totally prepared. I know that this happens. Like, okay, I'm gonna put spoilers on the screen, because if you don't want to be spoiled, mute me until spoilers goes away. I knew Achilles died. That is part of the myth. I knew that. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's gonna be the, like, the sad part. Like, it's gonna see Patroclus's, like, grief and whatever. Then we get to this part where I believe Thetis, Achilles' mom, is like, oh, you won't die until the best of the Myrmidons dies. Or like, these things won't be set in motion until the best of the Myrmidons die. And Achilles is like, okay, we don't really know who that is besides me, so cool. And then that just kind of goes by for a few chapters, many chapters actually. And then Briseis calls Patroclus the best of the Myrmidons. And just this like kind of intimate moment in whispers, you are the best of men, you are the best of the Myrmidons. And she's not wrong, he so is. And then it kicked in and I was like, oh no, I forgot this part of the myth. I forgot that Patroclus takes Achilles' armor. I forgot that he goes out on the field and basically becomes Achilles for a bit, and then he dies. And that's what triggers Achilles to go after Hector. I forgot how much of a monster Achilles becomes. Oh, and then his son, his goddamn son, the worst, hate him. Oh my god. But yeah, I was a whole ass mess that entire goddamn time. And I just, at the end of chapter 30, turned on the waterworks and they didn't stop until the end. Yeah, this book is a masterpiece. I'm whispering now because I'm concerned that my parents will hear me. And it's like 12:30 in the morning. But this book was so good. I have to throw it through Cowpile to make sure, and like sleep on it. But I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a 5-star book for me. That's amazing, because that would be the first book of 2021 that is a 5-star, other than Emma, which was a reread earlier in the year. And I know I rated Pet a 5-star, but on like reflection, it's not a 5-star for me. But this one just might be. So, gotta throw it through Cop Pile in the morning, sleep on it, and see how I feel. But, oh, you guys. I'd been putting it off for a few days. I even went and started Where the Crawdads Sing today. Because I was like, I don't want to read the ending unless I'm like in bed so that my parents don't see me sob, you know? Like that would be an actual mess. And I was. I even got 157 pages into the Crawdads. Crazy, right? Just because I was putting off this book because I was like, I know the ending's gonna wreck me. And it did. I was right. But in the best way. Anyways, I'm gonna go to bed and I will tell you about the Crawdads tomorrow. Hello friends! Alright, so I am here. Happy Sunday. I wanted to give you an update officially on Where the Crawdads Sing. So I've been reading it a little bit today. I'm now on page 213 and I am liking it. It is very good. The first, like up to about most of the beginning of the book, most of the first 40 to 45% of the book, it was so sweet. It was just our lovely main character, Kaya, who just got the shit out of the stick and was abandoned basically at age 6 by her parents and her entire family in this little shack by the marsh. And it's just her growing up around the marsh and making ends meet and learning to live. And then it's when she's a little bit older, it's this boy that she meets who is just the sweetest and most heartwarming kid. And he like teaches her how to read and he's basically her first love and all that kind of stuff, and it's just beautiful watching them fall in love. And all the while it's interspersed with like a murder trial like finding the dead body of this kid that she knew, and then that's in 1969, whereas we start in like 1952 with Kaya's story. So we're like slowly making our way up, and now we're getting to the point where they are suspecting her and her involvement because she is the marsh girl, and obviously everybody just thinks she's awful and uneducated and basically like an animal, which she is very much not. Like you have a conversation with her and she is so educated. Like she's basically educated herself on everything and everything to do with biology and the marsh, and it's so wonderful to read her story. I'm concerned about how the rest of this book is gonna go, just because of like where I see like the timelines are starting to converge now, because we're in 1969 with the murder and then we're in 1967 currently with her just like her older, and she's involved with Chase Andrews. So it's like, and Chase Andrews is the guy who was murdered. So like I'm seeing the timelines converge a little bit. So I'm worried as to how they're gonna treat Kaya. I want her and Tate to be okay again, because Tate is the sweetest man. I love him. Yeah, it's a very soft, slow, intriguing historical fiction, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm hoping to finish it today as well. I will update you guys when I finish this. Hey friends, this video has just turned into me trying to find new angles to film from instead of just doing it from the same angle every time. But I finished Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, and this book was lovely. It was such a soft, just gentle is the best way I can say it. Gentle, but like also so profound. It does deal with some really serious topics. Like there's obviously a murder trial weaved through this, and there's a attempted assault near the end on Kaya, our main character. The book as a whole was so lovely and so gentle, and I really enjoyed it. Probably it's not a new favorite, but it was lovely to get back into the historical fiction scene with this one, and with the Song of Achilles as well, because the Song of Achilles is kind of historical because it's set for the Trojan War, but it's more of a mythological retelling. And now I only have one book left, and that is The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. Anyways, friends, I did it. I finished, and I have yet to run this through Cop Out. By the way, I ran Song of Achilles through Cop Out, and it is 5 stars. And the book is chef's kiss. I'll update you guys when I am halfway through Red Pyramid. Hello friends, happy April 30th. It is officially the last day of April, and it's kind of a rough Friday so far. If you couldn't tell by my appearance and just my overall demeanor, not a great way to have a Friday. My dog was coughing all day yesterday. It's the weirdest thing to say, that a dog was coughing. So she's currently at the vet right now. They're monitoring her to see what the hell's wrong with her, because she's coughing up like white foam, which that's not normal. So we had to bring her in. All I want to do is sit and read. But anyways, I wanted to pop in and do an update because I am still reading The Red Pyramid. I am currently 208 pages in, and I'm hoping that I can finish this today. I'm putting it out in the universe after work to just carve out some time to read the rest of this, because Rick Riordan's work, and with this one specifically, I've found that if I like spend an hour reading, I can get well over 100 pages done. So I feel like I could easily do this. I just have to make the time for it. So hopefully this will be done today. We shall see where I get to, but I'm enjoying it so far. For Rick Riordan, there's a lot of chaos. There is so much chaos in this. Like, for some reason, like Percy Jackson, the first one, it makes sense. The storyline is pretty streamlined and there's a lot of stuff happening, but you can kind of follow it and understand it. And you're like, okay, there's explanations for stuff. And then the Magnus Chase, I was about to say the Magnus Archives, no. Magnus Chase books. That first one was also easy and pretty chill and like, it was like pretty easy to follow. This one takes this, throws these two kids, Sadie and Carter, into the situation, and they are just launched into a bunch of events that happen one after the other, after the other, after the other, and they're not getting any explanation as to what's going on. Because as soon as they start getting information out of somebody, something happens and they get like launched and like ripped away from where they're supposed to be. They don't even have a home right now because they're currently fugitives on the run. So there's so much happening in this. I absolutely love it. Sadie is so fun. I love her. Oh, but yeah, I'm gonna finish this hopefully today, and I will update you when I finish it and wrap up this lovely video, because I've already been editing it and it is very, very long. So if you've stuck around this long, good for you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're gonna turn things around with Red Pyramid after work, of course, and I will catch up with you guys a little later. Hey guys, it is officially Saturday, May 1st, and I'm popping in to wrap up this video officially, guys. Officially, we have finished all the books that my friends had me read in April. I finished Red Pyramid last night and I really liked it. It was super fun. All the comments that I said before about it being absolutely chaotic stand until the very end, and I loved it. It just kept you going and it just kept changing at every chapter. Everything was happening. It just moved so fast, and I really like that about it. I also really like the aspect of Carter and Sadie, about them not really being children of the gods like his other books are, like Rick Riordan's books are. They're like children, normal mortal children, but they are descended from a line of gods and that kind of a thing, so they're really powerful, which is really fun. But yeah, I really like this and I gave it 3.5 stars. So throughout the month of April, I had my friends pick my TBR for me, and they picked Here There Be Dragons by James A. Owen, Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel, The History of Love by Nicole Krauss, Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Let's see if I can do this. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, and The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. So I read all 6 of these books and I didn't hate any of them. And I loved a lot of them and I had a great time at reading them. So the very first one I read was Here There Be Dragons, which I gave 4 stars. Then I read Sleeping Giants, which I gave only 2.5 stars, but it was entertaining and it was fine. And then I read The History of Love by Nicole Krauss, which I gave 3.5 stars. Really liked it. Solid read. Then I read Song of Achilles, which I gave 5 stars to. Absolutely adored it and just new favorite book. Then I read Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, and this one I gave 3.5 stars to as well. And finally, The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan, which I gave 3.5 stars to. So, all in all, pretty great reading month. I did read other things outside of this video, but I think this was a fantastic way of me getting to the books on my TBR that I probably wouldn't have gotten to super quickly. Thanks guys, if you're watching. Thank you guys so much for helping me out, my lovely friends, Yeleni, Sarah, and Sophie. Thank you so much for helping me out pick my TBR for this month. I had a great time. I hope you guys did too, watching this very long vlog. If you stuck around this long, leave a book stack emoji down below so I know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in another video soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.